next best web designer because she thought it was just the easiest thing and the best thing in the world. But she was able to go in and create a site, and that site had a specific template to it. So if there were lists for issues or action items, or if there was a type of document library that was needed, which is a place where you store your documents for that site, right? All of those things come prepackaged with it. So these are just a few more screens, so I'm going to skip through some of these. So remember earlier where we talked about sharing, right? And you saw where the sharing was taking place inside of the actual Office application, right? Where you could invite people. Well, the same thing is happening here, right? They're inside of this Contoso architecture library. And so they've clicked on the file. You'll see the little blue check off to the left. And you'll see right here where you're able to invite other people to go in and look at that document. So you've got the same capabilities of sharing and inviting people that you do with OneDrive. So in my mind, this is also a big step for Microsoft because every application, it seemed like there was a different way to do the same functions. If you wanted to share, it seemed like it was always a little bit different. And now they finally have brought it back together, so in SharePoint, the way you're sharing is going to be very similar to the way you would share out of Word or OneDrive for Business. So you have the ability to do task management, task tracking inside of it. You can set due dates up, so it'll send reminders if you need to. So that way, if there's specific tasks that are assigned to a project, you have the ability to go in and see an overall summary of what's going on with that project. You'll see also get that nice little timeline view up there. So it'll add tasks to a timeline view. So if you want to see relative, to where it's at on an overall timeline, it gives you that visibility to it. Manage your to-do list. It's like mine's 100 pages long, it seems like. The other thing that you get is with SharePoint Online is the ability for search. So you have the ability to search for information. It's very much like a Google-like experience or the Bing-like experience. Right? They don't like you to say Google, but it's very Bing-like. So you can go in, you can type what you're looking for, and it will actually look into the text of the document. It's not just looking at the file name, but it's actually looking at the text of the document. It's matching up, right, what you might be interested in to those search results. The other neat thing with search, in my mind, I think this is pretty cool, especially with Office 365. You ever ran a search and you have to click on the document and then you realize, okay, that's not the document I wanted. And then you go to the next one and that's not the document I wanted. Well, with Office 365 and searching, you have the ability, it actually gives you a preview of that document right there in the browser. So you can see, right, where they ran a search here, they put their mouse over this green spectrum analysis, whatever that is, right, and it popped up part of the Word document there. Now it's really cool because, right, especially if I'm looking at PowerPoint presentations, right, it lets you tab through it or read through it quickly to get a summary. So it saves you a lot of time. It's amazing that how much time is lost when you have to continually open and close documents, only to realize that that's not the one you wanted. So this is a really, really value-added feature. Now the reason why I say this is so powerful for Office 365 is to get this kind of capability for your own servers in your own environment, it's not a trivial task. So this is one of those things where when you leverage Microsoft and you leverage the progress made with Office 365, you do get additional capabilities that's going to save you a lot of time. All right, so there's some video searches. All right, so it's just showing you that you can get video preview mode with your search results. So these next slides here. So this is going to talk. I'm going to go ahead and mute it because you can't really hear it. But what this is showing is that there's two users in this document. I'm going to go through it real quick. But it's showing how you actually have co-authoring occurring between these two documents. So you've got people, right, two different users that are working with it. Now what happens is if you look, let's see if I can, right there, it'll say 2 people editing the document. And so when you click on that, it actually will show you the 2 people, which is what that was showing at the very beginning. It shows you which 2 people are currently in the document. So when we're going through our project status meetings every Monday, right, it's funny, because you can tell who worked Sunday night and who didn't, because when you go in and we're all updating the same slides, there's either 2 people or there's 8 people editing all the slides at the same time. But it's kind of nice, because at that point, right, if you see who's editing the document and you had a question, guess what? You can, use Skype for Business. You can send them an instant message and have that conversation right there. So this is the Word web app, okay? So, I'm sorry, this is actually showing them going through and just sharing. So they'll run a search for the people, and it'll autofill. So if you type in part of the name, it'll autofill somebody who matches up with it. And if you saw, and again, like I said, this is going to be one of these presentations where I'll need to get it to the lane so you can see the video. But it'll show you that you could either choose, they can either edit or they can view. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? It's not getting into this, are they a reader? Are they an author? Are they a contributor? Are they a designer? Because honestly, I mean, how many of us really know what all those things mean? So let's just keep it simple, which is what they've done here. So here's the Word web app. And we'll go through and I'll show you these as well, so you're not seeing them just in the video. Let's see if this one actually has a video going on with it. So you'll see that everything, right, so this one on the right is actually on the client side, and the one on the left is going to be what's happening inside of the browser. So if you look at it at face value, they look almost identical to one another. The only difference is you'll see where one had file, open, and all of those other things at the top, and the other one was a browser menu. So you have the ability to handle some of the commenting. Right? So you've got the ability to go through, make comments on a specific document, just like you would inside of Word, right? And this is all happening inside of the browser. So you have the ability to go through, make comments, work with it, just like what you're familiar with doing. Right, the picture tools, so you've got the ability to make any of the edits on the pictures. Let's see if it's actually going to go through. Again, this is all through the browser. And the reason I'm showing you this is because everybody says, all right, well, if I'm going from using it on my computer to using it in the browser, what functionality am I losing, right? So this is just showing you some of the basic things that people are always asking about. Right? This is Excel. Right? This is all going through and doing, right? They're setting up some pivot tables. This is all happening all within the browser. I mean, 3 years ago, this was a lot more difficult. So they're doing a drill down, they're setting up their filters, they're doing all of these things. And you'll see up there it says File, Edit Workbook, Share, Data, Find. The Edit Workbook, let's say you open it up in the browser, and you're like, I really just like using Excel. I don't want to use the browser. It'll give you 2 options. You can edit in Workbook, or edit on your desktop, or you can edit online. So it gives you the ability from the browser to actually open it up and launch it. It's just some charting tools. So you can see it's just making their edits. And then surveys, right? You got the ability to go in, do a survey. So they're going to create a brand new document. They're going to create the survey, and they're going to send it back out. Right? They're going to create questions within it. So if you want to do an internal surveys, if you need to or want to, and want to get feedback, it gives you the ability to easily do those things. So obviously this user has used this 1,000 times, right? So it won't be that quick for you. But it shows you, right? In the matter of about 45 seconds, they created a basic survey, right? Obviously they got a lot of experience with it, but they created a survey, created the link, and sending it back out. The PowerPoint web app, and when we talk about the web apps, really all we're doing is we're just working with PowerPoint inside of the browser. So you're getting the ability to add the same transitions and animations that you would on your desktop, but you're doing that all online. Right? You can actually run through slideshow. That was almost a tongue twister. You can run through slideshow mode, right? So if you just want to view the PowerPoint, you don't have to deal with downloading the whole thing, opening it up, running it in slideshow. You can do it all within the browser there if you want to. We just have 5 more. Just 5 more slides. So these are just themes, right? Themes and variations, right? If you already have themes, you've got your own slide masters and those kinds of things that you're using, you have the ability to go in and make those edits and add those in there. Then, I don't know, how many of you have seen OneNote? Have you seen OneNote? Okay. So you also have the OneNote web app. And if you haven't seen it, it's really cool. It's like an online notebook. So you can share it out just like you would with any other file. But if you've got a tablet or other device, right, you can do all your drawing and writing and your edits and those kinds of things. So you can see all those handwritten notes. I mean, those are the kind of things when we're going through and having a house built that I would love to have been able to have, right? So you can draw and circle and write and just be able to have it all in one spot, rather than having 20 or 30 different emails back and forth between my wife and the architect and the builder and all of those kinds of things. So you have the ability to go ahead and build all of that out. And then you can go in and start tagging everything, right? So you can tag specific things. So let's just say you have a notebook that you're sharing with your department, right? And let's just say you want to tag when people have good ideas. You can go in and you can tag a specific line and say, all right, this is either a task or an idea or a suggestion, and then you can go back into OneNote and you can actually go in and run a search and just say, show me all the ideas, and it'll pull all the ideas out of the notebook. So this is it. I mean, that's all I have from a presentation standpoint. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and this is always the most nerve-wracking part, right? It's when you start getting online and doing it in front of everybody, and you're opening up your email and all the other stuff for the world. But I think it's important for you to see what's going on. So a few weeks ago, right, Ben Curry came down along with Paul Robichaux and some others and spoke to the SharePoint user group. So I'm going to show you what that presentation looked like inside of Office Web Apps, just so you can say, all right, you showed me a video, but I want to see it really working. So let's assume, all right, everything worked okay. Yep, so I just refresh. So this is all SharePoint Online. Now, like I said earlier, right, if I want to edit it, I can edit in PowerPoint Online or edit in PowerPoint on the desktop if I want to, right? Now, all these things are going to be in marketing, right? It's my group. Don't ask me how I ended up in sales and marketing, but I did, so. So sales and marketing, right, it'll take us right back up in there. And we also have the ability to print a PDF if we want to. So that's pretty easy. Not too bad. Those little drop down or ellipses, 3 dots, all those things, right? This gives you the ability to do additional functionalities with it. All right. So if I start slideshow, see it looks just like a regular slideshow. Not too bad. All right. And I hit escape on my keyboard and it takes me right back out of it. So pretty simple, right? All right, so let's go in and let's look and see what, all right, let me do this, sorry. All right, so if I click on this all these little squares up here, this is what's gonna show me, this is gonna show me what is available to me all online. So you're gonna see I've got mail, my calendar, people, Yammer, OneDrive. Oh, it's like somebody's trying to Skype me, so I don't know who it is. Oh, how about that, whoops. I'll see. I have a meeting with him. He says, hey, we on for today? I didn't even plan that, so, you know, I'll respond to him a little more. But you can see, so you've got all these other things up here, and then you also see some things that we didn't even talk about, all right? So I don't want to get you too excited about it, but there's this thing called Delve. So the more you get at Office 365, it actually will start aggregating information together that's of similar interest. So if I go into it, all right, it's going to probably log me in and do all the other things that it's going to do, make sure I'm who I am right there. But it's going to show me all these files and all these things that are kind of going on relative to my job role and my function and things that I'm interested in. If I want to go in and I'll look at mail, right? I'm not going to stay there too long because I don't know what's hit back too soon. Clicking too fast. So if we go back into mail, so it's Outlook web app. It's going to open up my mailbox. Yeah, so I think I got a lot of unread messages. What do you think? All right, so I'll start getting my reminders and all the other things flowing in here. If I go back up in here, let's just take a look at what Word Online looks like. All right, so it says, yeah, open and edit your documents and save them back to Dropbox. So now they've got Dropbox integration. Share links to your documents. All right, I got it.